All right. So today we're going to go through what is formerly called VSTS. It has changed from different names. Anyway, I'm going to talk about genesis of this. So when you are working in agile environments, you need a tool to manage the environment for you. So one of those tools that are often used in workplaces is VSTS or Azure DevOps, which is now called Ado. And there's other one that is also common, which is Jira, and you have version one, and also there's popular one that was used before by HP, which is quality control. So it's now QC is now been relegated, by my opinion. So the most commonly used one are VFPS, that this particular one that you're seeing right now, and Jira. So we're going to go through it. We're going to see how this is done. As you can see, it is Azure DevOps. So, and this is a project. So you can also register. If you go to visualstudio.com, you can register on your own and create a project and just work around that. The only thing, you will not have a live project to work on. So that's what I'm going to go through today. I've already created a project, so and you can also do the settings of the project from here, and you can see the team, security, and everything. So you won't normally do this, but if you want to, as a tester, you will be working on the board, and you'll be seeing different stories that on that particular board. That's what we're going to focus on today. So not on the administrative part of it. And also it's got a repository also. If you want to try it, you can register on your own. Okay. All right. Maybe we can actually use this repository actually for the. So it's got a repository. You can add repository. You can create one and add repository. The same way you have GitHub, you have repository that you can also add to it. So, and I'll see if you can use that repository for the internship. If not, then we leave it. So, okay. So, but the most important thing what we want to talk about today is the board. It's how you create your stories, how you move things from one sprint to the other, how you create sprint out. So some of those ones will be administrative one that a Scrum Master will do, but I would tell you, so you don't need to worry. But sometimes it's good to have visibility of what they do at the back end. Some of those rights that you have at this particular project, you may not have it at your workplace because it will be restricted. You won't be able to create a lot of things that you will be generally be able to create. So I've given permission to a lot of things here. So please don't mess up everything. So I would say please try to be cautious, but not too cautious because it's training. You need to make mistakes. But even with that, so just be careful because these are live projects anyway. So okay, so what I've created this particular project for this internship. So and the first thing, if you go to the overview, if you okay quickly before then, if you create your own, I'll say if you go and create your own profile, create your own account, uh, DevOps account, and you can click on here. When you click on here, you can no, just no, you can go to the beginning. Then you can create new project. You can create a new project and call it whatever you want, and that's it. Then after that, you click on that particular project. So once you click on that project, you are in that project. So this gives you the overview of the project. Normally you can edit it and put any information about the project, and you got the statistics, the board that you have, the work item that's been completed, and repository. This is showing 0. We're going to increase that right now, and the members that are in this particular project. So that is on the summary. Then you have your dashboard. So we don't have one right now. Maybe later we try to see what we can have. But more, like I said, I'm going to focus on the board. So from the board, you have different drop down. You have the when you click on the board, you have your work items, you have the board, you have the backlog, you have the sprint, you have the queries, and you have normally you won't see estimate anyway. So okay, so this is what you have. So let me just switch to another account. This is what you're going to have. Okay, no, okay, this one. Okay, so now for today we're going to create. We want to look as if we are going to do planning. Like I said, in Agile, there are different scenarios, different ceremonies that you do. So the first one, before your sprint starts, you do like a sprint planning to see what you're going to work on that particular sprint, to agree on your tasks and everything. Then also you also go and you start to plan for that particular sprint. Then after that, you do what is called spring grooming. They call it different names anyway. So, but in most cases I have worked, they call it grooming, where you look at the story and you size the story. You'll be able to say it is one, two, you use Fibonacci series. So, and I think this is another add-on to VSCS that you can use to start estimation. You can put the names and everything, but we are not going to use this. It's used for remote, everyone in different remote setup. You can now say, okay, this story, the name of that session, and everyone will start to import the estimate from the board. So you can select the estimate that you want. But let's start on sprint one session. Let's see. Okay, so for sprint one estimate, what's that? So sprint one estimate. Okay, so it says no work item found, maybe specific equation do not contain work item. Okay, cool. That's no problem. That's fine. So let's start from beginning, right? From beginning, this is not what you would do. And like I said, this is not what you do. This is just a plain sprint that we have. If you go to the sprint, you have sprint one, but you can create as many sprints as possible. Let me create another sprint and I'll call it sprint two, because I think I used the sprint one for other guys that we did the internship last time. Sprint two, I'll call it sprint two. I can say create a new sprint or that, or create, yeah. Okay, so this is my sprint two. Now, so for this sprint two, if you go to the backlog, there's nothing there. Capacity, so this is where you put capacity of different people that are working on the sprint and how many days that they are going to work on it, so you can put them, and also the activities. Well, let me say, okay, I am development, a developer, and Patricia is in testing, and she's going to work for 7 times 5, let's say 35 hours, number of days. That is, let's say we are using two week sprints. So I'll say 10 days for myself, and Patricia, she's a part timer, she's going to use only 5 days. So, and that is that. So, and then we can configure the settings. What we can do, how many where people work, whether they work Saturdays, so you can actually use that. If you want to make your work with bugs and manage your bugs with requirements, you can set that. Or if you want it to be managed with tasks, you can not set that one. But like I said, this you will not actually set. This is going to be set by the administrator or by the scrum master even before you start. But it's also possible that in some roles you might be fortunate or unfortunate, whichever you call it, to set this up by yourself. So that's the purpose of having to do this, so that you can be able to actually know how to do it. So I will close that one. Another thing is the options. So I don't need that one. So okay, let's go to this print now in the tax board. So let me save it. Let me save this one. So 1 minute. If I want to add users, okay, I can add that user, and that will be the user that you guys are going to be using, testing, and you work 20 days. So I can save that one. So that's the capacity, no days of that's capacity of the team. And the backlog. So now I can add things to the backlog. So there are two backlogs. One is the product backlog. Product backlog is everything that you have in here. Everything that was that. Okay. Yeah, you have everything that you have within the sprint, out of the sprint for the project to be done. Everything that you have will be in the product backlog. Then after, from the product backlog, you start to move stories into the sprint. So in this sprint now, we can start to add new stories into this sprint. So let's go to the tax board and new sprint, new item. Hold on 1 minute. And so from sprint 1, okay, 1 minute. Okay. Alright. So for this team, right, I have created a team that we're going to use. So this is the one that we're going to use for, this is going to be the team that you guys are going to be working on. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into the sprint, and we're going to create a sprint for that. Then we're going to move things into that particular. So like I said, this is the product backlog. This is everything in the backlog. So this is everything in the backlog. I have just put, normally you don't have this attributed to it. So what I've done was to assign different teams to different stories, so that you can be able to work on those stories. So for each of the teams, so team group A and B are going to be working on the product page. Then group also, you're going to work on give page cycle. Then G and H is going to work on searching. So we're going to go through it one after the other. So now this is your product backlog. basically. So, and you can see if you want to check the features or want to check the product items, so it's fine. So, and also you can customize the column that you want to see. So you can add more columns. You can say I want to see assigned to, and you can add more columns, and you can move these columns to different places that you want. The effort, I don't want the effort, I want the time and everything. So yeah, you can do that. So, and also maybe I should even start from very beginning. Well, if you go to work items, now let's create one from the board. So you can create new work item. So this is where you can create new work item. New work items could be an epic. Epic is a big story. Is a beginning, as in lot of stories that you want to start from, and then because you can now split those epic into different work items, but like folders of stories. So I think there's a question. Okay, where was I? So Epic is I said it's a collection of different stories. The same thing also with features. Also, you can combine or collate different features and put them in an epic, and it goes like that, like that. As you know, impediment is when you have a blockage, you want to raise it, and so that the Scrum Master can actually fix it. The most important one, in my opinion, that people do use is the product backlog items, which is also commonly called PBIs. So you raise a PBI and you put your stories in that PBI. Then once after that, PBI is now going to be in your product backlog. Then during your sprint planning, you talk about different PBIs, you talk about them, you look into them. Then during your grooming sessions, you will now estimate that product backlog. So when you estimate those product backlog and you now bring them into the sprint. So when you bring them into the sprint, then you create tasks for each of the product backlog. What you're going to say is, okay, for this particular task, you create, for this particular PBI, you create every task that you need to do for that particular story to be done. So let's go through that. Also, you as a tester, you create test cases where you put your manual test cases, your scenarios and everything into that. So we're going to go through this in end to end. So I'm not going to start, okay, let's say just for an example, can say, okay, I'll create an epic. So let me call this epic. Normally people don't use epic, so I'll call it okay, this is an epic. So I can now click on save. So that will save it. But if I say save and close, that will close this particular screen and go to where I am coming from. So, and you can put your description, you can put the state of that particular epic. It goes from new, in progress, and done. Or you can go from any state to remove when you want to remove it. Then also you specify the area you want to put that particular story in. Then after that, we talk about iteration. Which iteration do you want to put those stories? You have different iterations that are already been done. So iteration 1, 2, 3. So depending on what exactly you want to, the iteration you want this particular story to be in. Then also, yeah, I think that you can put assessment criteria, and also you can put your comments. When you put your comments, then you save the comment, and that is, so let's say this is example, and you save it. Once you save it, it goes down. in there. So you can use this to communicate with member of the team and put your comment when you finish your testing and you want to put your evidence, you put in the comments. Also to say, okay, I have tested it. This is my screenshot and everything. That's fine, and you put that here. So, and also you can also now create a relative work, and you can say, oh, I want to, for my epic now, I want to now create another item, and that item will be a child of that particular epic, but the work item for this particular type will going to be a feature. So I can say the name of the feature is now, so let's say training for, yeah, something. So as you can see now, you now have the epic now links to this particular one. So the epic is now a parent and the feature now is the child. So you now have almost the same thing. Also, you have the state, you have the area, and also you have the iteration that you want to. You can change this as you want, as you like. So, and you now have related links also, which is that one. So you can, as you can see here, so all the comments is here on the history and also the details. So if you have an attachment, you can add attachment to the story from here and put an attachment to it. So let's go back to our epic again. So in that epic, you can see it's got a child and is the training for year 2009. So that's it, and it's linked together. And here also you can also add another one. Let's say we now, after this one, we now add the work item. So let's say our work item is now login story. Login to, so, and it's saying what's the work item. So I want to say the work item type is going to be a PBI, product backlog item. So, and also is also a charge to training. That's the feature. And then you can save it. So if I go to this one now, as you can see, it's coming into the board. So let's go to the board. So yeah. So it's coming into the board now. So which is your product backlog board. So, and you can view it as a backlog, or you can view it as a board, depending on what your preference is. So some people prefer, because yeah, you can move this thing across like that when it is approved, committed, and when it's done. So that's one in terms of product backlog. So then, and you can see the board is here. So now let's go to the sprint. So before we do that, so let's do some configuration. So let's leave that. Let's leave this one. So I'll go into the sprint. You cannot view information for this for the administration. Okay, so it's got sprint 1 and sprint 2. So it's only sprint 2 that we want to use, and then we need now move what we have in the board into the sprint so that we can be able to work within the sprint. So if you go into the sprint, you are not going to see anything in the sprint because there's no work item in that sprint as of now. So, but what you can do in your sprint planning, this is your sprint planning, you can drag and drop things into the sprint. So for instance, this is saying sprint 2 and it's starting that. I can as well just update that sprint. So, okay. This is past, this is present, I think. Okay, let's leave that for now. So, and let's add stories to the sprint from the backlog. There's a team I want to belong to. So, okay. So for this one now, we can add this particular all these stories into the sprint. You can say move to, let's move to sprint. No. Again. Okay, 1 minute. I think I need to resolve issues. So normally you see the sprint here. Okay, let's copy and move it into the iteration from here. Let's check from this point. Expression part might have been deleted or might not. Select for the team. Okay, let's check the team. This is the team, this guy, and every iteration part. Okay. Like I said, normally you won't do this, to be honest. So this is part of the settings. So you might not even have privilege to see this at all, to be honest. So this is for, yeah, because training, that's fine. So let's go back to the board again. I'll go to the sprint. Let's try to move things. Okay, so we now have things in sprint 1. So, and let's now go back to our board. We can move this into sprint. So sprint 1, I think the date is wrong. We can change the date. So what is that? If you go back to this thing, see iteration. So first date, edit. So the date should be, let's say if we start today, what's today, 10, Let's say the sprint starts tomorrow, let's say it's 2 week sprint is going to end that's 14, 24. No, dash is not correct. So if it's 2 weeks, that should end at okay. So and that is on this location. Okay. So and it's sprint 1. Okay. So it will not be changed. Oh, okay. I think this is wrong. Okay. So we can do the same thing for, like I said, beware it won't, so you don't need to worry about this. You won't do this normally. So I just decided to show you how to create the sprint. So the second sprint will start on the 18th and end 2 weeks after that. Okay, so that is sorted now. So you can also create a new iteration. So we call it sprint 3, and that will start. As you can see, sometimes just it's now set up properly. It's already selected 2 weeks, and you can save and close. So it said could not be changed, of course. Show details. Okay, it already has the date, it already has our child, so let's see, select. So yeah, select sprint 3, then we can update that one. So normally this was created a long while ago, I think in one of our training, so we can change it to correct one so that we can reuse it. So that should be 4, and then okay, so let's leave that for now. So we're going to work on sprint 1. So let's go to our board. You got some settings there anyway, so if you create your own, you can look into that. Even repository, if you have, you can also do the pipeline. It actually does everything that you required in a DevOps. So let's go to the board, because what we're going to focus today is basically agile management to a major part of the Azure. So let's go to our backlog. Now we have our sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. So now we can drag everything that we want to do into the sprint. So that's one way to do it. So you've already dragged it, and that's it. So if you go to the sprint 1, you can see all the stories are there right now. Or if you go into the task board, you can see the story are there. So that's one way. Or you could go to the backlog and open the story. Let's say this one now. If I want to move it into the iteration, I can just go and change the iteration path and move it to sprint 1, and then it automatically is there. So if I go back now into the sprint, I should be able to see the T and H later. Yeah, that one. So, and let's go into the backlog and move the remaining ones. So that's one way. And also, like I told you, you can as well click on that and say move to iteration, and you can select the iteration. As you can see, this is now current. This is now all these ones are now feature sprint. So you can click on that and it is moved. So, and let's move this one also to. By moving, it's not that it's going to move away from the backlog. It's going to be in your product backlog anyway, but it's going to move into the sprint that you want it to be. So let's assume we move this now. Instead of moving to sprint 1, we move it into feature sprint, into sprint 2. So okay, I think that's what we're going to do, because we have 2 stories per team. So I'm going to move one into the sprint, another one into that sprint. So however, okay, let's do that. So if you go to the sprint now, we have API for everyone. Group A and B, they have the product page. Group A and B has got gift recycle also. So I'm going to move this now to sprint 2. So yeah, as you can see, that one is gone because we are in sprint 1. So if you go to sprint 2, you will see. So it's now in sprint 2. So but before we do that, let's go through the process again. So I will quickly go through, because I know I've done a lot of things right now that normally you won't do. So when you come into the sprint, let's say, okay, let's go through one after the other. This is me starting a job right now as a tester, and they are in sprint 0. That means they've not actually started anything. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our backlog like so. We're going to go into the board of that backlog. We're going to create a new story. And when I say story, I mean product backlog item. I'm going to create a new story. I'm going to say, let's say we call that story registration. So, and I can create another story, and I say login, maybe 2. I can create another story, and I can call it, let's see, what is that called? Searching test. So those are different stories that we created onto the backlog. Now, what we're going to do, we come into the product refinement session or product grooming session. We want to take each of the story, right? What we say, let's go to registration. We open registration. And what we're going to do now, we don't say registration. We put the story. The VA will put the story as a given, or whether the one that they choose to write as a user of when then in some rows, it will be the VA that will write this technically. So, and the tester will now complete the acceptance criteria, whether in maybe getting format or in Word format or whatever they choose. So you can now say given I am a user of Citrix. So, and you will put that. And what you can also do is to put scenario, and you say what is the scenario? Valid registration, and you can copy that. Okay, you can just use like that just to make sure it's nice and tidy. So if you say scenarios 1, do another one, scenario 2. So let's say it's invalid registration. You can say with existing user. So in this one now, you fill the form with an email which has been used before. Then I am not. So you continue writing that. This is basically you writing your manual test cases on that, and that's it. And you could save. So, and in that section, you can see they write the acceptance criteria and also be able to come together and you write that. So then during the grooming session, another thing that you do is estimation, right? Estimation will mean that they will now come together and say what's the effort. Most teams that I have worked with will use a Fibonacci series, that is 1, 3, 5. So it's Fibonacci series. So, and you would now, everyone will come together, the BA, the developers, and also the testers. So say, okay, they will ask everyone around what is the effort of this particular story. So, and the last place I worked at, it was really good. So they will ask based on, I think, 3 criteria. So in terms of complexity, what do you think this story is? In terms of repetitions, and also in terms of, I think there's another metrics which I've forgotten right now. If I remember later, I'll let you know. So everyone will look at that story and they would put a point in there. The point is a relative point. So you look at previous story that you've done. Let's say you did a login and you already estimated a login as maybe 2. And you know registration is more than a login. You can use that as a metric to say if you say login is 2, then maybe registration should be more than login. So in that regard, you will try to now put the point relative to other stories that you've done and relative to the fact that one is complex than the other or one is more repetitive than the other. And yeah, and the top part is uncertainty. So if you are not uncertain in some part of the story, there's something that is still not clear, then it's possible that the effort might be much. So you can now put the effort. Everyone will bring that. In some cases, they will use a poker series. So poker series is when or a poker card. You bring your poker card to the estimation meeting, and everyone will have a poker card in their hands. So they will ask everyone to estimate. So the tester will put their own card up, the developer will put their own card up. So it's possible that one will say 3, another one will say 5, another person will say 21. So they will ask from the guy that said 21, why did you say 21? And the person will say, oh, because it is so repetitive. maybe in terms of QA, it might be very, very repetitive. For developer, it might be just easy to develop, and they can say 2, and you can say no, it's 8. So they will ask you around again and to say, okay, do we want to have a concession or do we want to revote again? If they have a concession, you can say, okay, okay, I said 8 before. I'm happy to go down to 5. And developer can say, okay, yeah, I can meet you in the middle. 5 is still okay, so we can agree and we can put 5 there. So that's what you're going to do. That's the estimation on in terms of effort. It's not by hour. It's not by. It's basically on those complexity, uncertainty, and also if it's repetitive. So that is the metric that we use. So and you can that is you done on that story. So what you're going to do now, you're going to take all the stories like that. You're going to put those estimates there also in terms of the effort. And you can see the 5 is now displayed there as the effort for that particular story. So you do that for the next one also. You put the effort for that story. Let's say we click on it and we also put the effort and we say this is because yeah, exactly. Now searching, if you say registration should be easier than searching an item. So we can decide to say this is an 8 and we'll put an estimate there. So and on like that, we put estimates on all those stories. So I would want you to put estimates on all your stories. That's an assignment that you need to do as a group. Look at what you've been assigned, put an estimate on them. So that's what you need to do. So I want to see an estimate on your stories based on what I have said. Now come together and put estimates. Then also what you need to do now, after you've done the estimation, you like I said, you move that story into the sprint you move that story. We've done some of them right now. So and at the beginning of the sprint, you can see this is a board now. It is you can see to do, in progress, and done. So this is a simple board. It's a vanilla one. The other ones that I do fashion, to be honest, which is going to actually list different things that are on different disciplines. You can have like in dev complete, and also you can have in QA complete, and if or ready for QA. You can customize this particular board. I think if you need to do that, you click on that, and if I remember quite well, no, this is no. I think you go to project settings, and yeah, you click on that. Yeah, and you can now go to I go to the state. Yeah, and you can add different states in there. So in progress, I can change instead of committed, I can change the state. And the same way also, that's for the PBIs, and you can do for the task. You go to state and you can change them to do like that. For instance, as an example, oh really? I don't have access to create new states. Okay, really? Okay. Alright. Okay. That's good to know. So yeah, for this user, I don't have access. So what you can do is that you can click on new state, and you click create a new state, and you can say for my in progress. I think yeah, my progress, you can add new state. Just click on that, add new state to in progress, and also you can put in dev, in QA, so in that one. But let's make it simple, okay? So if we talk about that other stage next time, so on this one, let's use this vanilla one, the simple one, and we'll go ahead with that. So let's go back. Okay, so what you're going to do now is this is what also everyone should do, right? So for your now on the board, right, let's say you are working on login 2, and I have assigned different things to different groups. So everyone needs to create their own task. So let's say this is me now. I will create my own task and I will say DG, and I will say login to maybe testing. But in a normal situation, this is what you do. That's not what you do. This the next one I want to do is what you do. In a normal situation, people will say dev, and just to know that this is a dev task by looking at, and you say login. And in some cases, if they want to be specific, they can put information on what that task is all about. Maybe it's a login to something, or they want to create a service, or you want to create an API or something. They can do that, and that's that. Then also, they will also, you will create another task for QA, and you say login. So what's going to happen as developers start, they put it in progress. What is that? What's that telling you? When as a QA you see that task in progress, you know that there's a developer that is working on it. The developer will assign his name, and it's okay. Yeah, I am the developer, and then it will be there. So what's going to happen when the developer finishes, and he is going to put it to done. So, however, this story, you know, there are different states right now. There's a state for the task and the state for the story. So because this story is already started, it's going to be in committed. And that's another thing I say about sprints. Sprint, you commit to do things in a sprint. And everything that you commit to do within that sprint has to be done. It's very, very important. So now, developer has done this, and now testing will start. And you take that story and you assign yourself to it, and you put it in progress, and then you put it to done, and that's it. So, but for purpose of this program, this is what, because I want everyone to be able to do things, right, to do what they need to do. So what you're going to do, you put your name like I have done, DG, login to testing, and that's your part. So inside this one, now you open it, put your test cases in here, and you could also link it also with a new item. This new item, you call it, and I want now a test case, and this is my test case for login. And now you can have your test case here. So your test case is in design, and it's at, you can see it's been linked to that particular task now. So, and you can start writing your test case. Let me save this now. Save first. Okay. Then you can put action. What's my action? Go to giveaway.com. What's my expected behavior? So then click on login. So you do the same thing as expected. Then also you go, then, so basically you write the manual testing for that particular story that you are writing, and you close it, or let's see, save it. Then this was going to happen. Then after that, you now run this particular story, this particular test case. So you go to giveaway.com, you open the site, giveaway.com, and the next step says click on login button. You look into login button and you click on login, and it's not. Okay, let's assume the login, it doesn't appear. What do? You raise a bug. So let's say this is now doesn't work as expected, what you need to do, you click here, new item, and now the work item that we want to raise is not a test case but a bug. You can say, oh, I want to raise a bug, and you put it, the login button does not, or it's not displayed, let's say. So this is your bug that you're about to raise, and then you put the step. Your step might be similar to what you put in your test case, because you just need to say, if the developer is taking this particular this particular bug to fix, how is he going to recreate the bug? So you need to say, go to blah blah blah, then also those steps, and you now put any information that is necessary, and also acceptance criteria. If this story is to be developed, and is there any criteria that developer can actually know that this particular bug is fixed? Basically, when that particular login button as displayed, the login button should be displayed on visiting. So you can put that, and also you can attach any screenshot that you want. So let me save that. So for those that don't know, so let's say let's say this is the site now, and the login is not displayed. I can go and take my snipping shot. So snipping 2, new, then I can maybe put like that, or I want to do the whole page, and then I can circle it. Let's say this is not there, or whatever you want to do, then copy, and I can close that. I don't want to save it. So then go, and then you can as well paste it here. So as you can see, or save it and then attach it as attachment here. So that's different way to do it. So then you close that. Okay, so that is the end-to-end that I've said from beginning. So I'm going to try to go through it once again. So let me go back to where I came from. Yeah, I came from here. Let's try to do registration right now. Like I said, maybe yeah, in one of these trainings, in normal situation you won't be, because this is a live environment, you won't be testing on a live environment. They would give you a keyway environment which is not live, so which you can actually do whatever you want to do on that environment. So you don't, so also be careful so that you work on a keyway environment, on a test environment. You don't work on the live environment, because if you work on the live environment, then you can be posting things that you should not post. You can be deleting things that you should not delete, which is not going to look good on you, to be honest. So when you get a job, you need to ask them how do you differentiate which one is a live environment from a keyway environment. Okay, I'm going to go through that with you. Let's say registration now. Okay, so there's a keyway environment that Gifrate is using. It's called keyway1gifrate.com. So if you go there, so let's say now I'm going to do this registration. So what you need to do now, this is my name. I can put my name, the G, maybe the G group. Let's say I am in group DevOps. registration test. So that is me. So I'll go in there, I'll put description of what I want to do, that's fine. But most importantly, what I want to do is my test case, right? I go into my test case, I create a new work item for my test case. And my test case is here, and I call the name registration. So I can call one valid registration because this is going to be only for the valid one. I'll do another one for invalid, and I say okay. Then I can start creating what I want to create, and I say go to the test site. So now instead of the site that I have before, this is this test site, I'll go in there. So then I want to do registration. So this is now click on registration. Whoa, there's no registration yet. This is a bug. But of course, your specification should tell you. You shouldn't even go to the test site as at now, because you should just take what the requirement says and follow it and reach the right. So let's take a good example. This is one of the requirements that has been assigned to you. Let's look into that. So okay, okay, let me look at all the stories and assign the one that has to be done. So this is already gone. Product page, no, key phrase cycle, home page, CTA. No, to be honest, I think everything can be done in a week anyway, so let's put everything in the sprint. Okay, all right, so let's go to the story on the sprint. Okay, so now let's take the easy one. So this is saying home page and other static pages. Okay, let's go to that one. And this is the requirement. The requirement says this is the user story for home page. As a gift-rich web user, when filling information, I want the system to help me with autofill so that I can easily complete my tasks without struggle. So this is okay. As a user, when I open the website, I want to see information about the 3 products on the page, and I know what the products are. So what you need to do, right? You might not, yeah, I don't think this is relevant, so but it's fine. So in some cases, VA can write stories that you don't understand. So you need to go back to them and say, what is this story? I don't even understand this story. It is not required. That is the reason why we try to make sure that this internship is as close to the life experience as possible. So I am there as a product owner to guide you. So, and you've got some BAs there also to help you in most of your groups. So if you don't have any BA in your group, let me know so I can assign someone as a BA. So you call the BA and say, we are working on this story. So what exactly is this story? We don't understand, I think. So you also there, some stories that we have written are incorrect. Also bear that in mind. So you are meant to point that out because you are also meant to test what the BA has written. And like I said in one of the training, it is called static testing. You are not testing the application, you are only reviewing what the BA has written. So in this case right now, what you need to do is you need to create your task. You can create it from here like so and put it, or you go into the story, and you can create new tags from here and say new item. And this is now not test case. I'm going to create a tax for myself, and I'm going to call that tax DG DevOps. And then what am I testing? Home page. So, and then after that, what am I going to do? I'm going to save that. Then after saving that, I'm going to create my test cases. So my test case is based on that particular story that was written. So this is home page. So I think there are different sections in there. So let me go back, open another one. Okay, so for this now, let's say, okay, this is the home page. So I want to force, let's say, autofill, right? Let's assume the autofill is right. So I go into the autofill and I say home page autofill testing, right? That is my test case, the first task that I want to do. Or okay, I can no, okay, this is my task. The next thing I need to create now is not the task, it's going to be my test case. So, and then it's going to be my autofill testing. So, and click on OK. So, and then from my autofill, it's saying that this is what the story is all about. Okay, so just copy and paste that just to so it said, so I can just look in just say go to give rate because it said say user and it said that after that fill the information. Then it said that then I want the system. So after you fill the information, expected result could be the system should help with autofill. And so that I can easily complete my task. That's not necessary. So this is it. So this is what you need to say. Go to so now this is what the requirement says. Basically, go to that site, feed the information, and then the system is now the system should help with autofill. To be honest, I don't know. I don't because from what the requirement says, that's what I've just written, and I don't know how the system works. So now what did I do? I've written how what the requirement says the system should perform, and that's what I need to do. So now, but I need now to understand what this is. So I'll go to the BA and try to say, oh, I know that I need to go to the site. That's fine. But this line 2, I don't understand which information, which form, which is it. So they could be able to understand and say, no, that was even a crap. Just dump it. It is not supposed to be there. Or they would explain it to you better. So they will explain you better on what they mean. So, and anything that they write in there should something that you should be able to perform as the requirement says. So, and that's what you need to do. So this is left for, and if you look at it and say it doesn't make meaning, you can query it, you can question the B and say it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think this is a valid test case or this is a valid scenario. And also you can also talk to the developer or the product owner to actually see get clarification from there. So that's what you need to do. So like I said, some of the requirements are not correct. So you need to look into them as a tester and query the BA and say, doesn't look good. This is not okay. But a sample of this is this one. I'll say this is not this particular. It's basically like copy and paste issue. This particular requirement is on a different, is for a different test. For a different story. So, and that's it. So, but this one, like when you open the website, and you can see information about 3 products. Which 3 products is talking about? So, and you can get the information about what product is talking about. Then you can now check whether those products are there. And then you said, so that I can know what the products are. So you get the information, I know what the products are. So the same thing also, you go to the page and yeah. So this is what you do. So what I'm going to say is like, have a meeting with the BA in your group and call a meeting, look at the story by yourself first and look at the one that you don't understand. Let you and the BA have a meeting and look at what they've written and question it. Also question them and say, okay, this doesn't look good. They are also like interns like yourself, so also it's only that they are doing BA training with a blue sky. So I think as time progresses, we're going to also have project manager also joining the training also, so we can put them in one team together. So it's going to be a full team, so then everyone will be able to know their roles and role play them actually as it should be. So that's what is going to happen. So that is what you are meant to do for this week. By Sunday we're going to have another meeting as at like this next Sunday also. So by then I'm expecting everyone to have done this. So a question said, do we need to see the application before you start your test cases or just the requirement? You don't need to see the application, because in some cases, in most cases, the application has not been developed. It's only the requirement that you have. So for instance, right now, let's say this one now. So this is the requirement. You don't need to see the application. You write what the requirement says. Given I am a user, okay, go to give it user, okay. I want to have a dashboard when I click on the category. So, okay, how do you translate that into test cases? Okay, go to dashboard and click on categories. So probably when you start your testing, this does not even, and when you are writing your test cases, it doesn't make any sense. But you just translate what the BA has written into your test case, your action and your expected behavior. Then you said I can have access to the subcase. That's your expected behavior, and said confirm that you can have access to subcategory easily. So you've written your own, and that's it. So then after that, the application is ready. You go to the site, right, as it said, and it said, is there any dashboard? You look, where is the dashboard? If there's no dashboard, then that's an error. Where is the dashboard that the BA has written? You can clarify from the BA, or you can just raise a bug that says there's no dashboard. Even if there's no dashboard, I cannot even click on categories. Then that's so. If you see a dashboard and then you click on categories, can you have access to subcategory easily? That's what it's talking about. So it's going to be an exercise for you. It's going to take a long time for you to get to that, but the more you do this, the more you're able to know what you need to do at every particular time. And I would say don't go to the application first. So, but the link to the application is this actually. So, and there's some, yeah. So it's talking about different services, the free item, the wish list. This is what it was talking about in terms of the information. So these are the 3 products: the free items, the wish list, and the community. So, but it's not left for you to interpret what the BA has written into your test case and also work with that. Yeah, all members are doing the same thing, but you are going to do it differently. Everyone needs to write their test case. Everyone needs to write their thing. So even though you are going to, like this one right now, group C, D, and E are going to be writing test cases for this, are going to be testing it. For the first week, you're going to be testing it manually. For the second week, you're going to be writing automation script for it. So that's why I asked you to send your automation script this week. Because if you are not able to set it up by now, you can see there's a progression now. So it's going to be difficult for you to catch up. Like I said, I want to reiterate also, it's not late for people to say I can't cope, and that's fine. Even if it's 10 people that are finished, I know that it's 10 people that actually know what they are doing. So that's what I'm trying we are trying to achieve here. So it's going to be very, very intense. I said it from the beginning. So, and from moment like this now, it's going to be very, very intense. So if you are not catching up right now, it's going to be difficult for you to catch up. So I will say that one again. You need, every member of the team needs to go and do manual testing. Manual testing helps you to be able to understand the test, to be able to understand the story, and then after that, that needs to be done by Saturday, this Saturday. Then next Saturday, you need to start writing your automation script. If you are very fast and it's fine, you can do both of them together. Automation test should be written tomorrow, by next week. But however, it's individual work, but the teams needs to help each other to be able to do this. You need to help your team member. You need to, by doing that, you also solve other people's problem and you know what their issue is. And if you're a team member, it is your responsibility to be able to carry your team members along. Don't let anyone fall behind. Don't let anyone drop in your team. You have that shared responsibility to each other. It's very, very important. It is my role to remove people, but it is your role as a team member to keep everyone together in your team. Okay, I think, is there any questions before I go talking about anything? The assignment is clear, and if so, what I need someone to write it down and send it to the group. So what the assignment is. So any volunteer that want to do that. So, and I don't want to put that to Mobolaji again because she's been doing fantastic way. So I need someone to write it down for other people that are not. To be honest, I don't know why they are not here. Is that where the video is there anyway? So someone should please help me write this assignment down. So the assignment, I will say again, is to look at sprint 1. In sprint 1, so I'll send this link to you and I'll send the login details. Everyone's going to have the same login details. So, and I'll send it to you. You log in and you go to this. So it's also possible that when you do login, it might take you here, right? But scroll down, go to internship gift team projects. When you get to that, go to board because it's your board that you want to go to, and after that you go to sprint. So, or if you click on the board in the first instance, then you go to the sprint. Okay, you go to the sprint and you can see the sprint here. So now after you've gone there, so I think I can delete all this one anyway. So it's now so that I remove the noise. Okay, let me leave it in case anyone wants to use it as an example. So the task assigned to your group has been added. Group A and B. Well, group A and B, that's yours. Group G and H. So what you need to do, each one of you needs to create their task. I have created mine. You create your task and you put your name to it that you created that task. Then also, when you create the task, you add your test case to the task. As you can see, this is my own test case to the task. Then after you've written your test case to the task, so what you need to do, you run your test case, and if there's any bug, you raise the bug. You raise the bug and let your mentor in the group know about the bug that you raised. It's very, very important. Collate the bug and let your team member collate the bug together as a team, and then let the discuss about the bug that you've raised, and then talk to your mentor within the team so that it can be passed across. Then also, then in that's for the week 1. The second week, I said the sprint is 2 weeks. The second week, you are meant to now write the automation. So what you need to do is you need to upload your automation script into GitHub and put the link here. So you will say www.github.com/ I don't know that this is my own one. I'm not sure, but yeah, you just put the link here anyway. So something like that anyway. So, and then you say, okay, so that is it. So there's some question. Okay, the question again said, are we running manual testing? You are going to do manual testing and automation. I will say it again. So for week 1, it is manual testing. For week 2, it is automation that you're going to do. Week 1 allows you to understand what the requirement is. And Tunde said, how do I locate the requirement? The requirement is on each of the story. So let's say you are in group C and you're on community. You click on the community and this is the requirement. User story for community. So, and you got another one for the APIs. So, and we're going to talk about, you do manual testing on APIs. So as we go along, we're going to talk about the automation for the APIs. You don't need to worry about this. You don't worry about the APIs, right? Because we've not actually talked about the manual testing for the APIs. In the next week, after this particular sprint, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to talk about manual testing for the API, which you're going to use Postman for that, and also how to automate APIs. So that's, you leave the other part like this, you leave it out. So, but for this particular sprint, work on this. So this is the requirement. Okay, any other question? I think I would just, I don't think there's any other thing for us to do. I think I've covered on those requirements. I cover how to, so you need to just move your story as you go. So when you've in progress, you move to in progress. So when it's done, you move it to done. Done means you've done and you're ready. So it's okay if you want to create more tasks, or you want to say, okay, this is my manual testing, I want to create another one for my automation testing. That is fine. It's okay to do that. So it's okay to you to be, you can create as many as you want. So it's fine. So, but make sure you put your name there and you put everything. So, and also, I want to reiterate this. The GitHub, I can ask you to send it by email, your automation script, to send it by email. I don't want to do that. I want you to be able to put it in GitHub. It's very, very important. And this is an experience that I have also seen. I think so. When you go for interviews, and they ask you, can you do automation? You can as well just tell them, right, yeah, I'll set up automation from scratch. I can even open my GitHub for you to go through what I have done. Do you have computer there? I can open it, I can show you what I've done. So that is already ready-made. And this one I'm telling you is what I did not do when I was even doing interviews across everywhere. So, but if you come to me during the interview and you told me that you could do automation, and you said, I've already got a repository online that you could show me that you've done it. This is not interview now. It is you now showing me that you've done it and you're able to explain what you've done. It's add more, right? And also give you confidence. Also, before you use 10 minutes to show them, the time is already gone. So that's the purpose of having it. I've seen people that would even take their laptop in and say, this is what I did. and this is it, and I can show you I did it, and I did, and I can explain what I've done. That's the essence of this particular exercise also. Even to go through this particular tool that you are using, it's widely used everywhere, and you're going to be using it more than in every most of the tests. Is either use Jira or use version 1 or use this VSTS. Is very, very popular. So, and you need to look at it and know it very well. So if you can register on as your own and get a different one, that's fine. So, but of course, for a team that we are using for this program, you need to be able to have access to it. And as you can see, this is the sprint. It's starting on the 11th, which is tomorrow, and it's going to end on the 24th. And we have 10 working days in it. And it's going to be showing us the velocity from tomorrow. So let's quickly go and do the estimation. I think I asked you to do the estimation. So by tomorrow, I will, okay. So let me just do the estimation so that we have that velocity. So for this, I can say, let's say this is 5. So for that is 5, and then products. So this another 3. Cycle 13. So is Fibonacci series. For people that don't know that, I will just click with a Fibonacci series. So it's basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. That's it. So how it's being calculated is 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. 3 plus 5 equals to 8. 8 plus 5 equals 13. 13 plus 5 equals to 21. That's how it's being calculated. So why did they use that? Is like there's no point, right, saying how long or what's the effort of this story. And someone said it is 1. Another person says it's 2. Another person says it's 3. And another person says it's 4. So it's okay when they are close. 1, 2, 3. It's fine. And they now say there's no reason why you should say 4. You can as well just move to 5. So that's fine. So after 5, there's no 6 or 7. The next one is 8. Because if it's that big, you just move to 8 from 5. So then after 8 is 13. So that's the concept actually. So in terms of estimation. So then, okay, I've added some of those ones. So the one I've not added, I will advise the team to add it. 21. Let's see. So then another thing that you might as well want to do is to put the time for your task. So for instance, if I open my task, I can put my timing, remaining time. I can put it 7. I have 7 hours for that. So that it's displayed over there. As you can see, the time is displayed. So let's say this one also, my remaining time is now 8. So this is on hours. So it's different from the effort. So in the task, you have the time that it takes you, the time it's going to take you to do that particular story. So it's different from effort. Like I said, effort is not time-based. It's basically like arbitrary number that is relative to things on the time of complexities and everything. So, but in the task level, we talk about the time that it takes you to do it. So, and I can put, I say this one remaining time. Oh, because it's done. Once it's done, you won't be able to put the tax again. You won't be able to put the time because it's remaining time. It means that there's no more time remaining. So for instance, if I bring it back here, I can add the time now. I can say it is 5 hours. So, but if I move it to done, then it's done. So, and that's what you have. So you can measure the remaining work and also the velocity through that. So that's, yeah. Okay. So any question? I think that is that. Let's see if there's any other thing in the settings. Okay. So I can do this. I can add tags. So tags. Okay, show tags is already shown. Anyway, show tags. Okay. So, and one thing that you could do also is to add the tags into your story, and you can pull the tags there. Where is the tag? Yeah, tag. I can say is JG. So it's me working on it and then close. But in most cases, in a better scenario, because we have a lot of people, we can create an account for them. So, but if normally you would put yourself on the assigned to, and that would be displayed as you working on it. But as your name will not be there, you're going to have a static, a standard username. So, and what you need to do is just you can put your name as a tag that people know that you are the one working on it. But this also helps you because the name is already there, already here. So one thing I want to say before we go is queries. Yeah, I said, will I be able to see every team member works? Yeah, you will be able to see that as as if you are working in an organization. There's nothing hidden. Also, you will see other people's work also. Even if you work in a place, you will see their work and yeah, so you will be able to see that. So don't put anything private in there. It's very very important. You should not. You are working as a group. You are working as a group. We want to say that again. You are working as a group. As you can see, each one is got a group, but you are working as a group together. But everyone needs to have their task in there. Let's say we have 6 members in the team. So each member will create their own task. One, it helps you to know how to use this particular tool. You create it, you do everything. Also means that even though you are working as a group, after you created your task, right, you also need to create your test case. Even if you are going to use the same test case, you still need to create that test case because it also helps you to know how to create test case. Don't say my team has created one and you don't create yours because then you think you know. It's a matter of doing. This is not a theory class, it's a practical class. So you need to create your own test case also. That's why even if you want to copy and paste and you want to copy what your team has done, but I won't advise that you should just copy and paste. So, but do yours and make sure you are able to know what you've done, right? Then, yeah, it might be similar to what other people have done. That's fine, but make sure you do yours. Okay. And I said the last thing I want to say is queries. So if you go to queries, how can I know items that's been assigned to me? How can I know items that got my names or something like that? So you can have queries. You can, if you go to all, you see some queries that already been done. So item assigned to me, that's assigned to me. So I can go in there and see some items that has been assigned to me. So as you can see, so as the item that's got my name is been display to me. For you, you might it's going to be the item that if I give you an account right now, that account would you can assign story to that account. When you assign story to that account, then if you click on assign to me, you will see all the stories that has been assigned to that particular account. Current sprint, you can as well see block task, you can see test cases, you can see unfinished tasks, you can see work in progress. So, and as well, you can as well create new queries. So if you click on that and you can say I want to create a query and my work type is any and the state is any, but I want to create now assigned to where's the assigned to is equal to me. You can use that and say at me, I think at me. You can use that. So that will bring one to you, that the one is assigned to you, then you can save it. So task, or let's say it's I now want task now, no, also is task assigned to me. But with that, I can say where do I want to? I can save it in my query or all queries. So I can say okay, cool, all queries. I can say okay. But because I said task, so I need to change that into a task because I say work item any, but I only want only task. So you go to task and you can save it. So, and let's say I want to also create another query and say which box has been raised by me. I can say product item type is equal to bug. So, and I don't care about the state. I can as well remove it, but I want to say created by or tagged by if, and let's say tag. I want any box that has got my tag in it. I can go to this tag. Let's see. Yeah, tags contains digi. So I can click on OK, save query. Box. So, and if you get result, there's no result, there's no bug, there's tag my name. I can go and edit it again, click on editor, but let's say I want any now. So it's going to be any that has got any state and then with tags. So I can go to the queries. I think it should bring something in because there's one that was tagged now with my name. Let's save that and see. Yeah, there's one coming up now. So that is that one. So on your dashboard, so if you go to the overview, this is what you will get on the overview. However, you can add different things. So you will go, if you go to the dashboard, you can add different widgets to the dashboard. So, but I will say don't, no, let's say if you add that. So don't add dashboard, please. So I'll leave that one for now. So, but if you go to the queries, right? If you go to the queries, where's that queries? And you can, yeah, you can check all the queries that you've done, item tags, item assigned to me. So you can have your queries there. So, you can, yeah, do whatever you want to do. Yeah. Okay. I think that is that. So you can create as many queries as you want and you can put them in folders. So other thing. Repository. We'll talk about this one later as we go along. So whether we are using GitHub right now, so we can as well just use the repository for this. So that will mean that we have to ramp up our Git experience, then we'll be able to use this. Any question? So on the board, I think I've covered most of those things. Yeah. So the sprint starts tomorrow. So from tomorrow, you should be able to see. Yeah, you should see the ramp up. So you can see burn down on board charts. So how many things are done, as you can see, in approved, in committed. So I think all this has been committed. So I put them in committed state. It's approved. Okay. So those, so that approved. So nothing is done yet. So that's good. Then you have the sprint velocity. So we have 55 points. So this is what is going to happen. So in the next sprint, we have sprint 2 also. You can measure the velocity, which is different between two sprints. So like maybe the next sprint we did 70, so you can know that on the average what's your velocity for each sprint. The artifacts, you don't need to worry about that one. Yeah, we are using the same login details. I'm not sure how many login without crashing, so I think we are testers, we can see what is going to happen. So if it's going to crash or not. So so that's we do load testing on it and then give feedback to Microsoft whether it's going to crash or not. So I'm not sure anyway. All right, I think that is us. So that's everything. So I'm going to I'll see where I can upload the video, so I will send it across to everyone. So, like I said, this assignment is very, very important. Can I ask someone to write up the assignment and post in the group? Anyone that wants to volunteer? Okay, cool. Anyone that wants to volunteer to write up the assignment? Or nobody understands? Okay, I've got someone that wants to. Thanks so much. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, please let's take the assignment very serious. As you can see, it's going to be intense and it's very very important. Those ones that have not submitted the assignment for today, you have until tomorrow to do that. And the point is not to to be honest, I don't want to remove people from the internship, but ask from the other people that we've removed like 4 people right now, and I know the other people are queuing to enter in. I've given them assignment to do before they can actually join. So please, if you don't do your assignment by tomorrow and I don't have any excuse for not doing it, I don't have any choice. So I follow lay down procedure. So you, I will just remove it. There's no apology for that. So you have until tomorrow to send your assignment. And you can see the assignment is not for it's not for my benefit. It's for your benefit. So, and like I said, it's something that you can put in your CV. It's something that you can showcase in an interview. And it's not something that they call you for an interview, you start to prepare. No, you need to prepare it before and know it, and that's the purpose of this internship. And hopefully you make use of it. All right, thank you so much. So we see again. So on Thursday, yeah. I don't understand the last question. All right. Any other questions? So otherwise, we meet on Thursday. Thanks, everyone.